welcome to Medica Nova Wellness Studio. I'm Angelika Maria Koch, owner of Medica Nova, doctor of natural medicine and professor at the University of New Mexico. I'm the author of my award-winning book, The Dance of Your Core Healing, Transforming Your Mind, Body and Soul in the New World. I also publish monthly free newsletters which are available via subscription on my website and public social media. Let's continue in this discovery series in how to live optimal health and vibrant well-being, as I will guide you step by step through an amazing and life-transformative process, empowering you to connect with your body and soul in a completely new way again. Today's video theme is about the sensation of the wound, which is also covered in the 4th chapter of my book. This is the last chapter which focuses on the core mind aspects, and from then on the videos will be more about the core body. So over the last few weeks, including in my personal life, many of us have been touched by loss or the experience of death. So of course it is no coincidence that we are now given the opportunity to truly delve deep into our core healing. To understand the level and experience of your sensation within, we are asked to step beyond the mind, beyond our rational understanding. The content of this video may be a little bit difficult to grasp at first, but try to open yourself to a level of depth and transformation within, and you may be able to connect with a core wound within yourself, and maybe which you never have touched before. We now know well that stress does not necessarily come from our external reality, but from the relationship and manner in which we experience it. Each behavior and expression of the experienced stress is completely unique and individual to our existence. Once we reach that level of our individual core or center of the mind and body, we also will see each and every aspect in our life illuminated and infiltrated by this unique theme or frequency, meaning our marriage, relationships, attitude to finances, our health, our physical symptoms, even our spiritual path is infused by this underlying constant inner behavioral pattern. I've been blessed to know and work with many amazing teachers in my life. One of them, a pioneer of homeopathy, is Dr. Rajan Sankaran, and he expanded not only my understanding of homeopathy, but was instrumental to my own healing path with his technique called the sensation method. So what is sensation? The sensation is the underlying individual pattern felt simultaneously in the mind and the body that eventually finds its way via our physical symptoms or disease. Dr. Sankaran calls this pattern the other song, which is a very beautiful expression, which plays in parallel with our natural human song, our consciousness, and influences all aspects within our lives and circumstances. And this inherent part of us is not to be confused with our subconscious mind, nor with our shadow, of C.G. Jung, but explored through a completely different plane of experience altogether to reach far beyond both the subconscious and the conscious mind. As mentioned earlier in the previous video, we all describe our symptoms in a psychosomatic language. So we speak of a pounding pain, pounding headache, unbearable situation, suffocating relationship, and so on. Without being consciously aware, we choose words and sentences to describe our ailments that eventually lead us to our hidden realm, the very core wound. Once we allow ourselves to touch and feel our deepest inner level, we not only use our descriptive language, but also gesticulate, particularly with hand movements, the energetic image and the frequency that rises like the lotus flower out of the mud from the very depth of our identity. For example, let's say you have a pounding headache. The headache would be the label of the disease. Then I would ask you, tell me more about this headache. Is it worse during the day? Is it worse during the night? After eating? Describe me your headache. That would be the facts of the headache. Then we go a level deeper, and I will ask you, tell me what this headache make you think. What is your relationship to this headache? And you might say, it really limits me at my work. I feel inhibited. I have so much to do and I can't follow my work. That is your belief system about the experienced physical symptom. Then we go a step deeper and I will ask you, tell me the experience, or what does it feel to be inhibited or to feel limited? Now at that very point, usually the person stops and there's a moment of silence, because now the question cannot be answered by the mind. He or she has to go beyond the mind. Now the person has to fall within the body, and uses his or her senses in order to get in touch with this very part within yourself or within the person's self, which describes the very frequency which is directly linked to this pounding headache. It's the same frequency, just different levels, different densities. So this frequency, which is usually repeated through our lives, often started way back in our life, usually the childhood. But at this point, we have gone far beyond our childhood stories, or the blaming of our parents, or even the lack of materialism. The story is there, but the very core, the essence, has nothing to do with the actual story anymore. By becoming aware of our core and its unique expression, we can ultimately reduce its power and effect on our body. At this stage, we are becoming aware of the hidden aspects within ourselves. So the actual experience of feeling this core frequency can then offer us the full potentiality of healing. At that point, we are speaking about a radical transformation, alongside the healing of the physical symptoms. This core experience doesn't adhere to the idea of space and time or to our personal stories. It is an experience we remember over and over from past situations, and which carry and express into our future events. As we live through intensely stressful situations, we often try to change our external environments in order to free ourselves from the seemingly external causes of stress. Some may dissolve the marriage. Another one changes their job. Another one maybe changes their residency. Some, if they don't find a solution at all, may even fall into depression and start to detach themselves from this seemingly difficult circumstance. If there's no immediate resolution, an individual might lean toward excessive consumption of alcohol or drugs or recreational drugs, just to escape this mechanism, just to escape this whole situation. But at this point, many of us also will look for self-help books, therapy, just to find, a way how to get out of it and go back to the track, so to say. There's nothing wrong with therapy, but what I'm trying to convey here is that the true healing is within. We constantly try to blame and project all our misery onto our external lives, making it her or him responsible for our circumstances. We see this dilemma particular in intimate relationships or marriages. But here in this healing path, I'm not talking about projections anymore. I'm talking about truly falling within and connecting with your true core. As we continue to evolve in our consciousness and look at the possibilities for healing ourselves and the planet, we are ultimately asked to transcend this level, to recognize our delusions, to enter and touch the space in between, the space of energy and all-encompassing source. When we do so, we are able to transmute both polarities of our self-inflicted belief systems and our learned defense mechanisms. Then we get very close to the part of us where we truly feel free. The trained homeopath or natural healthcare practitioner is not interested in the question of why something happened, but in the deeper understanding of what happened to the person while he or she was experiencing that external circumstance. The practitioner is interested in the individual expression of the person's behavior. Rajan Sankaran beautifully described in the book The Other Song, we need to realize that part of the essence of the concepts in this work lies in the notion that our behavior and our feelings stem from something much deeper in our beings. They are rooted in a very basic, inexplicable experience unique to each one of us. This experience is not emotional or intellectual. It is a sensation felt in the body and minds simultaneously, one that is constant and one that colors our whole experience of life. Illness mirrors an expression of a learned behavior given birth during a very stressful situation in the past. So imagine someone had an accident which involved a red van. And years later, whenever he sees a red van passing by, suddenly a cellular memory is activated. Like there may be some palpitations, there may be anxiety, there may be even sweating. So do you see how this can happen? To truly heal these dormant cellular behaviors takes time, patience, and a willingness to gently open the lid of one's inner Pandora's box. It is a process and a journey, but one that certainly can become the most enriching and transformative dance in one's life. Don't be afraid to open the lid of your Pandora's box. We now fully understand that not the name of the disease or its label or its description even, or even its recognized belief system will ultimately shift or heal the physical symptoms. Here we have to go a step deeper into the realm of the sensation. When you ask somebody to answer a question based on the description of the sensations, something which lies beyond the belief system, you often observe a moment of silence, a moment where you can witness the struggle between the mind and the body. Because when you fall within your body, when you really drop, the mind cannot grasp it anymore. You have to answer it from a different level within. It's a world of the senses, and then you are able to describe our story or your story from the place of the depth of your subconscious mind. The external reality is not typically the cause of our stress. Rather, it is our perception of reality that is ultimately the deciding factor in our health or disease. This is the very reason why our cellular biology changes its behavioral pattern according to the influencing environment, whether the external one or the inner psychological one. It is not due just to the genealogy. It is the perception of the carrier that determines the behavior of health. Do you see what I mean? It's your perception, how you perceive life, which activates and triggers your cellular behavior. I want to finish this video with Rumi's very touching poem where it says, "One day your heart will take you to your lover. One day your soul will carry you to the beloved. Don't get lost in your pain. Know that one day your pain will become your cure." If you feel inspired and want to know and learn more about my teachings in homeopathy and quantum healing, I encourage you to get my book or one of my online courses. At the moment, I'm offering 3 courses: Thriving with Homeopathy, practical guide for the whole family and beyond; Thriving with Homeopathy for Birthing Life, a practical guide for midwives, doulas, childbirth educators and nurses; and a great course called Being and Living Quantum Healing, transforming your mind, body and soul in the new world. Although these comprehensive courses are offered in an online format, I will guide you step by step. Usually there are 16 weeks, really long courses, but in depth through the whole material, and therefore offer you individual guidance and tutorial, which you usually do not get with online courses. The courses are beautifully designed and I'm sure will become a constant companion on your journey of optimal health. Have a look at my website, medicanova.net. Subscribe to my channel. I would be really appreciated. And if you have any questions, leave your comments below. Till next time, much love.